anything up. So yeah, just had a bit of a relaxing week. We are in now for an old associate of mine's guy that taught me to plaster. He's renowned for being quite a difficult guy to work for, but we are going in to help him out, and all I've got is an address. I don't even know what we're doing. He said be on site for 7 o'clock. He's that sort of character, so I'm just on my way to pick up Shane now, and we will get to the address that he's given me, and I'm sure the delights of the day will expose themselves in good time. So let's get on and do that, shall we? Let's go and get Shane and see what's going on. As I say, it's been nice to have this time off. It's given me a little bit of chance to rest my left knee. It's playing up really badly. It doesn't like bending anymore. I will walk on it. I carry too much weight on it for too much time. It starts to seize up and swell up, and the next morning you can't bend it very well. So it's been nice to give that a bit of a break. It seems like it's got a little bit more flexibility in it at the moment. Other than that, I mean, what is it? It's just coming up to the end of October. People have got coughs. It's flu season, isn't it? My stepdaughter's just come back from Falmouth. She's been down there for a while. Falmouth from Cornwall. Because her boyfriend goes to the university down there to study architecture. So yeah, she's come back from there, and she's come back with a terrible cold. So yeah. We've got viruses in the house. I got me. I've woken up a little bit clammy today. I'm not cold or anything, but you know when you feel a little bit clammy, maybe it's just coming down with a bit of a flu. So I had all week off, so I was able to rest. But I had some friends over that I haven't seen for a while on Saturday night. We had them over for dinner, and it went on a little bit later than you're normally used to, and a bottle of whiskey did come out, so I think I'm still suffering the effects of that now. So yeah, I didn't get up too much yesterday. So getting up today to be on site for 7 AM is certainly a bit more of a shock to the system. So let's go and get that done, shall we? So here we are for 7 AM. Our job detail is to get this room done. It's a plant room in a rather large establishment. We've got tack ceiling, and apparently the walls are just being rendered out with regular old OCR, the one coat render. I haven't seen the material, I'm assuming it's the Weber. One coat render. Plaster the ceiling, tack it, plaster it, render these walls. So yeah, not a particularly big room, but quite tall. So we'll have to get ladders in there for that. So there we go, we got that ceiling up. It was quite awkward getting up at that angle. There's a bit of a gap it's touching there. It's not perfectly square. We're going to get some foam up right into the apex. The board was damaged down there that we found, so it was better off cutting that out and refilling it. So we're just going to get some scrims up around this and staple them up as well. Everything, if there's no windows in the property, everything just feels damp. All the plasterboards are damp. So yeah, it's just I had to fight this board up here, get it in. We're almost ready to say it. Another thing we've had to pay attention to in here is these doors. It's apparently steel doors. So like I say, it's going to be a plant room in here, so I imagine it's some sort of fire regulation and stuff. These look really, really expensive. They're pre-finished, look, they've been foamed in, so it's well worth it. You've got something like this going on. Get it taped up. And I've already noticed, this is our first day on the job, and look, there is some scratching there already. I've already pointed that out to the builder, because I don't want to get blamed for that. So we're going to get this taped up and make sure it's properly protected. Otherwise, that looks like that'll be worth more than our day rate today. Okay, so we've got all scrimmed up. So we use this wider scrim in here, and we backed it up with some 10mm stainless steel staples. Because, like I say, everything feels damp in here, and we rendered these walls, so gone a bit overkill with the scrim, and made sure they're stapled up to stop them falling down at all, especially over these ruptured areas. If you find any plasterboard where the paper is bouncing out, you really need to cut it out and repair it with plaster, because it's never going to really go back up again. You need to repair it, so that's what we've done there with that particular bit of board. But yeah, it looks like we're pretty much ready just to start getting this ceiling on, and like I say, everything's so damp in here. We've got some accelerator, haven't we, Shane? We've got some of that storm additive. We're going to get some storm additives into the multi-finish, get this ceiling going, and then we're going to do the render of the walls. Okay, so just before we start doing anything on the ceiling setting, we've got these cavity closers and this metal catnick up here. So we figured it's a good idea to get this beaded up and get a coat of the render stuff over there now, sooner rather than later, because it's not going to have any section. Just primed it up, we just mixed a little bit of SBR with some render stuff, and we're going to get some mesh over there and squeeze that in and get the beads that have been given to us and get them over this door opening. So there we are. We've been given the galvanised beads to get this done with. We've used a bit of that faster mesh just to cover over those cavity closers there, and we've meshed all this up here onto that metal catnick. Like I said, we just figured it was a good idea to get these beads and those cavity closers going now, so that by the time we've set the ceiling, they should all be nice and solid, and we won't have to wait too long for it to pick up, so we can rub it up. I'll show you the products we're using today. Actually, I've not used this stuff before. It's quite coarse, isn't it? It's a lot coarser than the Weber stuff. So we are using this stuff. So that's this stuff. Just have to come away from the radio there because it's playing songs. So yeah, this GP Mix Render Plaster Mortar. General purpose render, plaster and mortar. I assume it's going to do what it says on the bag. That's what the finish is going to be on all these walls. Okay, so we're getting some red grit on these dry thermalites, which I'm happier with. I know all these different products need different surfaces also, or we're just going to kill the suction down on these thermalites because there's such high suction. Apparently this red stuff goes off. This is the stuff we've been told to use, so that is what we are using. And the job detail has changed, as we don't have to set the ceiling with multi today. All we are to do is to get these walls rendered, so that's quite handy. So another reason why I'm glad I've got some staples in those scrims, because if those scrims stayed up there for quite a long time, then they tend to fall down, so the staples will hold them up indefinitely until it's time to be skimmed. Alright, we didn't want to get anything down these pipes, so I saw an empty water bottle, cut it in half with a Stanley, goes in there, I'll save anything falling down there and blocking those pipes up. So I'd say it's been about 20 minutes or so. We just come back to here where the bead has gone up on these reveals. So here where the thermite block has been able to pull moisture out, it's pretty much going off. But if you come back here where the cavity closer is, it's still really wet. Just bringing our attention back to where we put some grit. Watered the grit right down. It's really pulled into these thermalites. It's been about 20 minutes, if that, and you know, it's dry to the touch already. So I'm quite happy that's killing the suction down. Okay, so I've just been informed this is the other product we're using, this Fassa Bortello, whatever it is, MS20.2, these newfangled materials you get. So I've been advised to use half of that other stuff, the K-Rend general purpose render, and half this stuff. Again, I've not used this before either, so let's have a look what it's like, shall we? Okay, so we've mixed these up to this sort of consistency, and we're going to use this to put one single coat all around all these walls in here and give them a scratch coat. We're going to scratch them in, and then we're going to go over with another coat and do the top coat. So I'm assuming it's going to behave just like the render, the Weber render, but I can feel the granules in here are much coarser than what I'm used to. So, you know, just slightly different. Okay, let's get it on the walls. Okay, so I've been advised that we're not scratching this, we are just ruling it off. So I've got a derby out. I've got to admit, run over it once. It is ruling up quite nicely. I've got to admit, it's quite nice to work over there. So Shay, what's he told you to put in there now?
So you have, so he says an ideal mix will be 2 of them.
Right.
Because these are creamy, but they're quite coarse.
Right.
And then this is the K render.
Yeah.
He said 2 of them. These
Okay.
are good because they're not as coarse and they go off quick.
Right.
And then he said this is pretty much the same as the first bag, except this one's extra creamy and
so
not as coarse.
So we're knocking up 2 of each of those.
An ideal mix will be 2 of these, 2 K renders, and 1 bag of that.
Okay, what is that? Turn it around, let's have a look at it. Food coloured render systems. Okay. Okay, so with that derby we're getting some off, but yeah, I've got to admit, it's quite nice to rule. It's given us quite a nice surface already. So yeah, it must be due to the coarser granules in it, but yeah, it's ruled up literally straight away. So I'm straight back on it with the derby. And I can feel it's going in quite nicely.
3 points, easy. I can run it.
Okay, second roll on and just ruled off. And like I say, it does rule off very nicely. Almost satisfying. Okay, so got that wall on. Right, now we're kind of in this condition where we run the rule over it. That's all we've done at the moment. It's kind of picking up. I can still push my finger in there. But I'm taking the sponge float to it with a little bit of water and we're bringing it up straight from that condition into this condition. It's quite grainy, but being a plant room, I guess we're getting away with it. This is what I've been told to do. I might run over it with a finer sponge afterwards, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. So all we're doing here, I've got the bigger spray bottle in the motor. So what I'm doing, it's not taking much water at all, giving it a bit of a wet up. And then with these sponge floats from Wigs, which are the thinner, more denser foam, from there you see what stuff marks. Literally in it straight away, bringing this up. So yeah, that's what we're doing in here, just floating this up more than anything else. Tight rim, right, I'm going to turn back round and I'm going to do that to the entirety of this wall before I push any further, and we just got to get this last one on. And so it's just really tall, thin, quite awkward more than anything else, just up and down the ladder. There's hardly any room to move in here at all. So there we go, we are pretty much done in there. Just drying off on that back wall. Considering all that sand is a rule, if I put my finger on them, see the light casting, so it shows up any tiny discrepancies with the light at that angle. It's pretty flat, considering all we've done is put that on, roll it off with the derby, and then just see it home once it's ready with that little sponge float. Nothing else has happened to it. The last thing to pick up is just that little head. I'm just waiting for that to go off before I can clean that bead off. I'll probably get up there in a minute. Remember there's the metal catnick up there, so it's just been hanging. Let's get that down, and then we're done in here. I'll trim those down a little bit better. I'm just waiting for Shay to come back with my ladder. Yeah, it's been very tall, awkward room. A very tall, awkward room. What do you do in the ladder, Shay?
The black brush.
Yeah. So there you go, that's what we did today. It was just like a awkward little room. I think, you know, it's worth noting that what's good about these new products, these one coat render systems, is the guaranteed setting time. In the old days, just using regular sand and cement, that is not possible. You'd have to get a base coat on there and let that pick right up, and then before you could put the top coat on, which very often would be the next day. So the fact that we went in there, we literally just put one coat on, threw it on the wall, ruled it off, let it pick up, and then we sponge floated it. It was done in a day. That's easy, a 2-day job. So, you know, with these new products like that, the sand and cement things, they are worth it. Long gone are the days where you're still there at 9 o'clock at night putting sheets of newspaper on the top coat of render because the weather's dropped, it's cold, you've lost the sunlight and there's no evaporation going on, and you've got to stay with that top coat of render, otherwise you just got to scratch it in and start all again the next day, and possibly rebead. So yeah, these new products out there, the sand and cements, they are certainly a step in the right direction. Anyway guys, thanks for watching again. Just a quick video this time. We're back in there doing some other stuff tomorrow. I'm not sure what sort of video footage I will get tomorrow, but I guess time will tell. So you guys have an amazing evening, and I'll catch you on the next video.